Both the government and the defense have rested their case in the federal hate crimes trial against the men convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery. News4Jax reporter Marilyn Parker is joining us live from the federal courthouse in Brunswick. Marilyn, the defense only called one witness.
And it was a woman who lives in Satilla Shores, but didn't really know the defendants. You know, overall, it didn't really feel like we heard much from the defense in this case. Some of Ahmaud Arbery's supporters even said that the defense's actions during court felt desperate and that they were nitpicking at technicalities. But, you know, the witnesses that were called from the state dug deep today into the history of the defendants. On the final day of testimony, the government called witnesses who said they were lied to, felt uncomfortable, and even afraid of the defendants, like Travis McMichael's former boss, Joe Mandela. He didn't speak to Travis much outside of work until the day of the shooting. Mandela said Travis called him, saying he shot and killed someone who was attacking him. Travis told him he shot the person he believes was committing break-ins in the neighborhood. It wasn't until the video of the shooting came out in May that Mandela says he feels Travis lied to him about what really happened. They took his badge the next day. The defense in cross-examination pointed out that no work complaints were made about Travis after the video came out and that there's a zero-tolerance policy for racism in their field. We heard from a woman who worked under Travis in 2011 at a military base. She says Travis called her a N-word lover after he learned she used to date a black man. She says he asked her if it was like throwing my boyfriend's expletive down a hallway and said things like, once you go black, you're in a wheelchair. Defense attorneys in Cross mentioned how she never brought these problems to her higher-ups and that she doesn't like Travis. So much so, the defense says after the shooting, she said it would be just like Red, or Travis, to shoot someone taking law into his own hands. Then we heard from Carol Sears. Greg McMichael drove her around in 2015 while he worked for the district attorney. Sears says during a drive, she made mention of a civil rights leader passing away. She says Greg responded with a rant against black people saying, I wish that guy was in the ground years ago. All these blacks are nothing but trouble. I'd wish they'd all die. Greg's attorney, A.J. Albo, had Sears clarify how this interaction was from 7 years ago and asked if she remembered sending a note to the DA's office about how she was treated. Sears said no. Now, the defense made motions to dismiss the kidnapping charge. However, the judge did not allow that. We also heard from members and supporters of Ahmaud Arbery's family outside of court today. Take a listen to what they had to say.
There wasn't much of a defense that's put up, is what it means, is that they would prefer to try to explain away the government's evidence that's been presented because there was no defense that they could put up.
I'm very confident that we will get a victory, a good verdict on Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. These guys were racist, and these charges needed to be tried. The world needed to know what type of people the McMichaels really were.
Again, no other witnesses were called by the defense, and the state says for their closing arguments and closing rebuttal, they asked for about 2 hours, and each defense attorney asked for anywhere between 1 hour and 2 hours for their closing arguments. Now, Monday is a holiday. However, the judge reminded them that that is when they are to return, Monday, 9:30 a.m. We're live in Brunswick tonight. Marilyn Parker, Channel 4, the local station.